He has not changed. He will not change. He has made that clear himself without self-awareness or hesitation. A man without character or ethical compass will never find his way. Even as the most recent and most egregious misconduct was discovered, he was unapologetic, unrepentant, and more dangerous, undeterred. He continued pressing Ukraine to smear his rivals even as the investigation was underway. He invited new countries to get involved in the act, calling on China to do the same. His personal emissary, Rudy Giuliani, dispatched himself to Ukraine, trying to get further foreign interference in our election. The plot goes on, the scheming persists, and the danger will never recede. He has done it before. He will do it again. What are the odds, if left in office, that he will continue trying to cheat? I will tell you, 100%. Not 5, not 10, or even 50, but 100%. If you have found him guilty and you do not remove him from office, he will continue trying to cheat in the election until he succeeds.
A grim, but I think a very real and honest warning from Adam Schiff, the lead House manager, as he made his closing arguments this afternoon, and he wasn't done.
America also believes there is a difference between right and wrong, and right matters here. But there is more. Truth matters, right matters, but so does decency. Decency matters. When the president smears a patriotic public servant like Marie Yovanovitch in pursuit of a corrupt aim, we recoil. When the president mocks the disabled, a war hero who is a prisoner of war, or a Gold Star father, we are appalled. Because decency matters here. And when the president tries to coerce an ally to help him cheat in our elections and then covers it up, we must say enough. Enough. He has betrayed our national security, and he will do so again. He has compromised our elections, and he will do so again. You will not change him. You cannot constrain him. He is who he is. Truth matters little to him. What's right matters even less, and decency matters not at all. I do not ask you to convict him because truth or right or decency matters nothing to him, but because we have proven our case and it matters to you. Truth matters to you. Right matters to you. You are decent. He is not who you are.
Adam Schiff may have been giving too much credit this afternoon to his Senate colleagues on the right. GOP senators, before this began, they swore an oath on a Bible to administer impartial justice when this sham of a trial began. And yet, they couldn't even muster the courage to hear from witnesses. Their two arguments to excuse the inexcusable were, firstly, that no laws were broken. Okay, this is an interesting standard considering when our founding fathers drew up impeachment as a presidential death penalty, there was no such thing as statutory laws and standards. Moreover, as if logic wasn't enough, the framers specifically, with unbelievable foresight, they identified soliciting foreign interference as a prime example of a high crime. What do you think we had here? Now, the other rationale for ignoring the facts in front of them was that no one testified to hearing Trump directly utter the quid pro quo. Now, forget that if one merely read the transcript and listened to Trump himself or his chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, or all the corroborating witnesses' testimony in the House, you'd have to believe in the tooth fairy not to know that Trump only had bad intentions in holding up the aid. The real outrage is if they wanted to hear a first-person account, all they had to do was say yes, to vote to let Bolton and other senior administration officials testify. No, they didn't want to have to face the truth, even though we, the people, overwhelmingly wanted to hear for ourselves what these witnesses had to say. But I reserve my greatest disgust for those senators who knew better. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is a fraud. He is so unrecognizable to the lawmaker that I knew, who I defended over the years, who I thought, though I may have disagreed with him politically, I thought he always respected this country and he always put our nation before his political party. The Lindsay of today, he's an obsequious toady for a man that he once declared, in his own words, unfit for office. Lindsay, even after what this president did to his best friend John McCain, he grovels now for his next assignment from El Jefe. Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, their very families were demeaned by this president. And now they're so fearful of his Twitter feed that they couldn't have the self-respect or basic dignity to let the American public hear the truth for themselves. Lamar Alexander, he's retiring, for crying out loud. But for now, he holds the same Senate seat as his political mentor. I'm talking about the late Howard Baker. Senator Baker, the Tennessee Republican, who went into the impeachment of Richard Nixon here basically looking, as McConnell did, to do the bidding for the president, instead famously broke with his party during that impeachment when he asked famously, what did he know and when did he know it? There would be no such profiles in courage from his protege today. The political cowardice and the obsequiousness, as I said, that Republicans have shown this indecent man, it will carry consequences far beyond November. The transformation of the GOP, it's complete if it wasn't already. The GOP is now a wholly owned subsidiary of the Trump brand. And just like so many of Trump's businesses, it is bankrupt, except this time morally. They have ceded their ability to hold him, or by the way, future presidents accountable. And in the process, they neutered a power vested in them by our founding fathers of being a co-equal branch of government tasked to be the only guardrail of an imperious president. They are supposed to be a check and a balance. Now, they have done this for the most unworthy occupant this office has ever seen. The polarization in this country, it was already at dangerous levels. What this will do is pour accelerant on it. Lawmakers will regret, I believe, not being decent when their president has no decency. 53 senators, they have proven cowardice is in great supply, and honor is even in shorter supply than I had ever feared. All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by a former senator who served during the Clinton impeachment. He'll join us to discuss what has happened to the institution he served and loved, and how long will it take for the Senate, if they can, to recover from the way the Republicans are handling impeachment.